Welcome class to the start of chapter 4. So it's the next unit that we're going to be working on, and we are working on starting today graphing and writing inequalities. So today is basically section 4.1 is what you have the video notes in front of you for, and what you should really is, this truly is the foundation of the unit. So before we start, you should have gone over the first half of your paper, and it says that first section, problems 1 and 2. So to check your answers, here's what you should have had. 4 on the number line is here. -3 is right here. This equals 3 right here. 0 is right here. 1.5 is about right here. So hopefully you can see that the bigger the numbers you have, go to the right. And the smaller the numbers you have are to the left. So if I'm comparing then for the next ones, -3 and -5, -3 is more to the right on the number line, so -3 is bigger than -5. I just want to move that out of the way. The next one you had is B, and oops, I think on your paper it actually had B here and C here, so those were switched. But what I do over here for part B is I try to get 2 decimal places so that they have the same number of decimal places. So here they're both now into the hundredths, and I can see that 4.80 is greater than 4.29. Here for subtraction, I have -3 and -3. -1 minus 2 is -3, and 7 minus 10 is -3, so those are equal. And the last one, 1/3 plus 1/3 is 2/3, and 1/2 plus 1/2 is 1/2. Well, a whole is bigger than 2/3, so that's a greater than symbol. So hopefully you got that done, and then this is where it actually says to start watching the video on there. So this is following along in your notes. We've talked a lot and done a lot of word problems where we'd say 5 less than a number, and x less than 3, something like this. And this is what we've done with subtraction, and this has come up since the beginning of the semester, really. In section 1.1 it says x less than 3. That means you take 3 minus x. Where what we're moving into today is inequalities, and inequalities will start off x is less than 3, and that means x less than 3. X is less than 3, right there. So hopefully you guys will see the difference in the vocabulary as we go through. So on here you can pause the video and solve this equation, and then come right back on. Alright, so if you solve this, you should have subtracted 4 from each side, and had 3x equals 21, and then you divide by 3, and you would have that x equals 7. So what this means, what does this solution mean? If you need to pause this for a second to think, but what this means is x equals 7. 7 is the only number that when I put it into this equation at the top, 3 times 7, and then I add 4, I'll get 25. It is the only number that will make it come true. When you have an equation, there is one number that will make that come true. Well, if we're on an inequality, the solution of an inequality is any number that makes an inequality true. And where an equation has one solution, an inequality has many. The solutions of the inequality x is less than 3 are any number less than 3. So here's my question for you. Is 5 a solution of x is less than 3? Is this true or not? Well, most of you can look at it and say, no, 5 is not less than 3. But as we get further along, you might want to substitute in the number. Put it in the inequality. Is 5 less than 3? And the answer is no, it's not. So then your answer is no. Is that a solution? Nope, it is not a solution. But if you think of a number, what is less than 3? There's so many numbers that are less than 3. 0 is a solution to that. -1 is a solution to that. Any number that's less than 3 would work. So here you go. Take a second, and I want you to think about on your paper, and I say, are each of these a solution of x is less than 7. Try the next 2 examples and then start this again. So if you're back here, you should have 9 is less than or equal to 7. Is that true? The answer is no, it is not a solution. -1 is less than or equal to 7. Is that a solution? Yes, -1 is the solution. Because if here's 7 on the number line, and then here's -1, yes, it's less, because this is on the left side, which is the smaller side. Here you get 7, so when you simplify that, is 7 less than or equal to 7? Yes, that's true. 7, it's not less than, but it's that equal to part. So 7 is less than or equal to right here, 7. So then yes, that is a solution. I also ask you to do the next one, -5, and comparing it. Is -5 greater than -4.1? The answer is no, it's less than. Is -4.1 greater than -4.1? The answer is no, it is not a solution. Because this one does not have less than or equal to, it is not a solution. And is 8 greater than -4.1? The answer is yes, so that's a solution. So now you have this one. If you flip your paper over to the back, you have 3 more problems to try, and you can go ahead and work on these. All right, and if you're coming back, now we can see which of these work. So 2 minus 5 times 3 is greater than 13. Is 2 minus 15 greater than 13? Is 13 greater than 13? The answer is no. So is 3 a solution? No, it is not a solution. Okay, that means that is not a number that makes this inequality true. What about -4? 2 minus 5 times -4. I'm afraid on here some people might have made algebraic mistakes. Is 2 plus 20, -5 times -4 is positive 20, greater than 13? And the answer is yes. 22 is greater than 13. So yes, this is a solution. If you keep going on here, it says, are each of these numbers a solution of this? Well, we can check it out. 2 times -2 plus 3, is that less than 8? -4 plus 3, is that less than 8? And I get -1, is that less than 8? And the answer is yes, this is a solution. And over here, 2 times 3 plus 3 is less than 8. I get 6 plus 3 is less than 8, and is 9 less than 8? And the answer is no, that is not true. So 3 is not a solution for that. There's one more for you guys to do, and I'll let you work on that on your own, and we can talk about that in class. Next part is a vocabulary tip, and a lot of students have trouble with this. This is what I want you to see. Here it says -1 is greater than or equal to A, and you can read it from left to right. Well, I oftentimes don't like reading it this way, and I don't like my A on the right side. As with equations, so many of you guys have told me you like the X or the variable on the left side. So instead of writing -1 is greater than or equal to A, you can flip it and read it the other way. So we can say A is less than or equal to -1, and you can write it like this then. And just so you guys know, you can just switch the order and you have to flip the inequality, and that helps students for what we're going to do next. The next part, what we have is we're going to be graphing our solutions. So when I said earlier, hey, an inequality has so many solutions, here you go. We come back to x is less than 3. Think of all the numbers. Here's 3, and all the numbers less than it are now highlighted on here, kind of coming to the left. And what we want to know is 3 is not a solution. We can look at that. So like 3 is less than 3. The answer is no. You don't shade in 3. And the way you don't shade in that number is you leave it as an open circle. Okay? And that's why it says an open dot or circle means that it is not part of the solution. If I wanted to graph all the numbers that make m is greater than or equal to -2 true, what I would do is I would find -2 on here, and I want greater than or equal to. Because it's greater than or equal to, it is a closed dot, and then I'm looking for numbers bigger than that. So that's why it's shaded to the right here. So what you need to know is that me bring this down a little bit. Oops, that's what I was looking for. If it is a part of the solution, a greater than or equal to or less than or equal to, because of the equal part, you're shading it in completely. If it's not part of the solution, it's just a greater than or just a less than. I have some of these problems for you to do, and I'll do one of them. And here's what you have. X is greater than or equal to 2. I find 2 on here. Oops. Whoa. Let's back that up. All right. I find 2 on here, and I can color that in, and I want greater than or equal to. And greater than is going to the right, and you shade it in. And I'm going to let you go over all of these and finish graphing those, and we'll talk about these tomorrow. So just try shading it in. You might want to use a pencil in case you have a mistake. These last 2 down here, maybe we'll give you something to think about. And then when you're done with that, hold on, I think these are also on there. The last things I want you to do for your last 5 graphs is I want you to copy these, and I want you to write me what inequality goes with it. That's where I'm asking you guys to stop. So this worksheet should be filled out. All the inequalities on the middle part of that back page should be filled out, and then you can graph these on your number lines for A, B, C, D, E. There is no F, so just leave it blank, and then write me the inequality that goes to it. So here I would have X, and you can use any variable you want, is less than, it's open circle, so just less than -4. So similar to that on everything. Thanks a lot, and I'll see you soon.